G'day everyone, welcome to Two Wheel Workshop. I'm Brody and this video is going to be an unboxing and my first impressions of the Sieg SC3 mini lathe. Alright, there she is. That is a tiny little lathe. Look at the size of that chuck. Plenty big enough for my purposes though. The lathe itself secured in there pretty well. It's bolted to the bottom of the box, but all of the accessories and stuff have just been like thrown in there to rattle around. Good thing it didn't have to come very far. It's only come from Melbourne, and I'd say they're just the accessories that they've thrown in at the distribution centre. Alright, so it's all unpacked now. In the box you get the lathe itself and a drip tray. You also get an instruction manual, a box of what I assume is lathe components that don't come fitted on the lathe, and then we've got the starter pack. The starter pack comes with a drill bit set, a live center, a parting off tool, an 11-piece cutting tool set, 4 center drills, a drill chuck, and a drill chuck arbor. And they were also thoughtful enough to include a catalogue full of more stuff for me to spend my money on. Alright, so here it is. This is the Sieg SC3 mini lathe. It's got a 500 watt variable speed motor, 180 millimeters of swing, and it's 400 millimeters between centers. So before settling on this lathe, I read a lot of reviews and general consensus is that this is one of the better ones of the Chinese mini lathes. The reason I chose it is because it was affordable and it's small enough that it's not going to take up too much room in my shed, but big enough that I can pretty much do everything that I need to do on it, which is mainly going to be making small parts for motorcycle modifications. We'll start at the back. So the rear cover and the electronics cover are both plastic and it's pretty brittle. This screw was loose, so I tightened it up and I probably went a bit too far, so I've cracked the corner here. It's not going to affect the operation of the lathe, but if you get one, don't do that. So we've got our start and stop buttons there, and the cover doubles as an emergency stop. We've got a power light, forward and reverse switch, a fault light, a spot for the fuse. We've got our speed control, and this is an auxiliary port of some kind. Like, I don't know what it's for, but I'm sure I'll find out eventually. Aside from these plastic covers, the construction of the lathe actually seems pretty good. This chuck guard's pretty flimsy, but I probably won't even keep it anyway. The bed seems pretty heavy duty, and it's got plenty of strengthening ribs down the guts of it. The ways also look really good underneath all that packing grease. The gibs are actually adjusted really well out of the factory. Like, there is no movement in any of that, which is really surprising. There is, however, a bit of backlash in the carriage handwheel. Same for the cross slide handwheel. Like, that's a fair bit right there. There's less in the compound slide, but still more than I'd like. And there's a fair bit of backlash on the tailstock as well. But I didn't expect this thing to be adjusted perfectly out of the factory, so I'll reserve judgment until I've given it a clean up and adjusted everything and gotten it ready to the point where I want to start machining things. Alright, here's the instructions. In the bag with the instructions you get a spare fuse, so that's handy. Now the instructions are actually pretty good. Like, there's a bit of Chinese English in there, but for the most part they're pretty clear and concise. And it covers everything from unpacking the machine, the components of the machine, to unpacking the machine, mounting it, adjusting it, and basic operations. Alright, so in this box you get the world's shittest oil bottle, but it's something, I guess. You get a set of feet for the lathe and mounting screws. Now, I'm probably not going to use those because I'm going to mount the lathe to the bench to improve rigidity and also for safety. You get 14, 17, 8 and 10 millimeter open-ended spanners. Now, the gib screws are 7 millimeter and you don't get a 7, and they're the things that I can imagine myself adjusting the most. So that's a bit of a pain in the ass. You also get a set of Allen keys, handles for the hand wheels, a set of change gears. They're nylon. A chuck key. Now it's got this spring on it for safety, so it'll just pop straight out after you've finished adjusting the chuck. I'll finish tightening the chuck. You get a dead center and outside jaws for the chuck. All right, so as part of the starter pack, you get this set of drill bits. It's from 1 to 10 millimeters in 0.5 millimeter increments. They seem pretty good. Like, I don't know what kind of quality they are, but I'll find out once I start drilling things with them. This is the live center. The bearings are nice and tight and it rotates smoothly. So that seems pretty good. This is the parting off tool. I'm pretty happy with the quality of this. There's nothing really to complain about there. This is the 11-piece cutting tool set. Comes with 2 boring bars and an assortment of other tools. I haven't used a lathe since high school, so I'm not going to go into each individual bit, but the quality seems okay and there's definitely enough there to get me started. There's the 4 center drills. The quality seems pretty good. Happy with that. And we've got the drill chuck, a chuck key, and the drill chuck arbor. And this drill chuck is actually pretty good quality. It's a lot better quality than the chuck that's in my drill press, which is also Chinese, but I'm actually really happy with that. All right, so there it is. That's the Sieg SC3. All in all, I'm really happy and I can't wait to start using it. Once I've set it up and I've familiarized myself with it, I'll do a bit more of an in-depth amateur review. But until then, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.